A man who single-handedly helped the troops land at Zerbahar, Sergeant Norman Finch. Finch was born on the 26th of December 1890 in Birmingham. He enlisted in the Royal Marines in January 1908 and received basic training in Eston. For the next 4 years he served on various ships and shore stations until in 1913 he was promoted to Bombardier. This would be soon followed by the rise to Corporal in 1915 and to Sergeant in 1917, and then he joined the 4th Battalion on the 23rd of March 1918. Finch was only 27 years old and a sergeant in the Royal Marine Artillery Royal Marines during the First World War, when the following deed took place for which he was awarded the VC, the Victoria Cross. On the 22nd and 23rd of April 1918 at Zerbahar, Belgium, Sergeant Nicholas Finch was second in command of the pom-pom guns and the Lewis guns on the foretop of Her Majesty's Vindictive, HMS Vindictive. At one point, Vindictive was being hit every few seconds, but Sergeant Nicholas Finch and an officer in command kept up continuous fire until 2 heavy shells made direct hits on the foretop, killing or disabling everyone except Sergeant Finch, who was however severely wounded. Nevertheless, he remained at his battery and exposed positions, harassing the enemy on the mole until the foretop received another direct hit, putting the remainder of the armament completely out of action. He was awarded by virtue of ballot. And this is where he receives his Victoria Cross for doing the deeds at Zerbahar. Sergeant Norman Augustus RMA, no RMA, 12150. For most conspicuous guess, he showed consummate bravery, remaining at his battery and exposed position on the foretop of the Vindictive, under Lieutenant Charles N.B. Rigby, Royal Marine Artillery. At one point, the Vindictive was being hit every few seconds, chiefly in the upper works, from which splinters caused many casualties. It was difficult to locate the guns which were doing the most damage, but Lieutenant Rigby and Sergeant Finch and the Marines that were on the foretop kept up continuous fire with pom-pom guns and Lewis guns, changing rapidly from one target to another and thus keeping the enemy's fire down for some considerable extent. Unfortunately, 2 heavy shells made direct hits on the foretop, which were completely exposed to enemy concentration of fire. At the top were killed or disabled except Sergeant Nicholas Finch, who however nevertheless he showed consummate bravery, remaining at his battery and exposed position. He once more got a Lewis gun into action and kept up a continuous fire, harassing the enemies on the mole, until the foretop received another direct hit and the remainder of the armament had been completely put out of action. By the time the top was destroyed, Sergeant Finch had done invaluable work and by his bravery undoubtedly saved many lives. This very gallant sergeant of the Royal Marine Artillery was selected by the 4th Battalion of the Royal Marines, who were mostly Royal Marine Light Infantry, to receive the Victoria Cross on the Rule 13 of the Royal Warranty, dated the 29th of January 1856. Finch retired from the Royal Marines as a Quartermaster Sergeant in 1929. During the Second World War, he then rejoined at the age of 49 and served as a storekeeper officer, which is a lieutenant, until 1945. His Victoria Cross is on display at the Royal Marines Museum, Eston Barracks, Southsea. When he was released from service after World War II, in 1964 he was made a Divisional Sergeant Major of Her Majesty's Bodyguard, which are the yeomen of the guard, and then on the 15th of March 1966 he passed away. And so the man who bravely held his ground, 2 direct hits from probably what I would assume be artillery shells, and if you want to be, for all you occultist people out there, he was also a Freemason. But nonetheless, whether he was Christian, Muslim, atheist or whatever, he did save many lives by commanding those pom-pom guns and the Lewis guns, and undoubtedly kind of making Zerbahar work in the end. But it was still a colossal failure, but he did his deed and he did it well. Sergeant Norman Finch, Sergeant Norman Augustus Finch, Royal Marine Artillery. Hope you learned something. Might do a series on Victoria Cross recipients. I already did one on Kamade Khan, but I still got the other Indian to do. And yeah, I'll probably talk about the medals in general and not just like probably like some famous people who received it as well, like top 5 people, after I discuss what the medal was, what the medal was awarded for and stuff like that. So the Iron Cross, the Croix de Guerre, the Victoria Cross and the other equivalents for the other countries. So hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Got to record today, so I feel good. Alright, learn something.